Hello everyone, we are from group 6. Today we will presenting about BFS in GPS. But before presenting, I will introduce you my group member. So my name is Muhammad Fauzan Muharram and there is two friends. First one is Alfian Fahrudin and the second is Binaya Adi Sahat. Okay, so this is the table of content. First is definition BFS. The second is definition GPS. The third is implementation BFS in GPS. And the last one is construction. I will introduce you what is BFS. BFS is algorithm to explore a graph for the general discovery of or explicit search. They will try to visit as much of the graph as they can reach, but there is no expectation that the paths they explore are computationally optimal. Graph search algorithms are usually used as a core component of other algorithms. The implementation of on this graph are route planning for making game and etc. Definition of GPS. GPS is a satellite navigation and positioning system owned and maintained by United States. The first name of GPS was called Navstar, or Navigation Satellite Timing and Ranging. The system is designed to provide three-dimensional position and velocity and continuous information over time, regardless of time and whether too many people at the same time. The implementation BFS in GPS. Unlike humans, digital map sees streets as a bunch of nodes, but a GPS navigation or any other digital map divides it into hundreds of segments, with some only 24 meters long. A GPS looks at the street as a graph divided into vertical and edge. There is a lot of data to be covered and calculated while finding the shortest path. The next implementation will be presenting by Alfian.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Fauzan. Next, how BFS works in GPS. BFS look a map like a grid work to make a route so we can find the shortest way. We will draw a line in the grid work of the map that we have changed with BFS algorithm. We will visit all the nodes until we find the route test route. This is the example of the grid word from map. Let's take a simple example of grid word. Given above and try solving it using breadth first search. Assume you need to travel from location A to location B. Next, how BFS works in GPS. First, visit neighboring nodes to A, B, E, and F. The vertex to B will become 1 A, and since E and F are also at an equal distance as B, hence vertex to both E and F from A could be the node S1, A2. There is no particular order for node preference, but to make it simple, we begin with B. Second, since all the neighboring nodes have now been traced, we will mark A as visit and take the next visit nodes as the source node, which which in this case is node B, visit all the adjacent nodes to B, which are C to B and G to B. Node F is considered in the previous step from A, hence it is not visited again. Once, once all neighboring nodes from one node are visited, mark them as visit and move to the next step. Third, visit all neighboring nodes of node E, which are 1, Ri to E, and G to E, and mark E as visit. Fourth, visit neighboring node of node F, which is K to F, since all the adjacent nodes have been visited by either B or E, mark node F as visit. Repeat the process until all the nodes on the grid are visited at least once all nodes are visited. You will you will find you will find that the distance required to reach from A to P is 3 and the shortest route is diagonal. So the shortest path is A F K P. But there a big but in the real world. You can always move diagonally. Most of the portions in between the intersection are occupied by houses, shops, malls, and metro station. So how does BFS work in such circumstance? The process is the same as the example that taken above, but in this case, we are not be able to move diagonally. First, consider node A as search and visit all neighboring nodes of A, which are B1A and E1A. Mark A as visit. After that, visit all neighboring node of B, node C to B, and node V to B, and mark B as visit. Second, visit neighboring visit neighboring nodes to E since F is already visited by B. Visit node I to E and mark E as visit. Repeat the step for all nodes until each of them has been visited at least once. Mark nodes mark nodes U consider visit. Highlight the nodes connecting source node A to node P, which the distance 6 and is the shortest path between two nodes. So the shortest can be seen, which is A B C G K O P.
How are you?
That's how BFS works to
우리도 오늘
finding
어떡해?
shortest path that implemented in GPS. Hence, for a GPS, distance is not the only factor in choosing a route. Rather, elapsed time, the speed limit on the route, live traffic update, the number of stop signal, all has to be taken into consideration. Next example of code presenting by Binaya.
Okay, so this is the example of code of implementation BFS in GPS. So we're given a spanning tree that contain a value and nodes between the trackpad. We will be finding the shortest path from D to K. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the class of BFS. We made the class BFS. This class contains the process of BFS to find the shortest path and then finally found it. There is some misclick in here. As you can see, the int index vertex awal equals to min 1 and then int index vertex terakhir equals to min 1. It's misclick because the first vertex and the last vertex is initialized in main class that we will discuss later. So in solution method, as you can see, it initializes with a query. In the query will be a root that contains start path which is null and the nodes which is D, because we start from D. Okay, we start from D and we end it on K. There's okay. So the line that int vertex awal is not used because the index is A is 0, B is 1, and so on until L is 11. And the function below the solution function is used as the stretchment from node D. For example, that we start from node D and then we stretch it from that have node D that have a child which is node A, E, and G. Okay, next. Next again. Okay, the number 2 is class node. This is the important class. The class node is used to create an object containing the path from the initial code to the from the initial node to the current node. The node class was initialized as a vector class. We can see in the code there's line vector integer path from root equals to null. Path from root represents the path from the initial node to the current node. The hitung bobot method is used for evaluate the weight value. As you can see in there, the value means a distance from one node to another node. If we want to finding the shortest path, we must have value in node track. And then the cetak path method is used for print the nodes with using for loop and system.out.println function. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the main class. This main class contains the value that we have that I have set in the hitung bobot. This is the distance between nodes to nodes. As you can see, there's initially nodes A, B, C, D, E, F, G until L, and then the below that agency metric is a two-dimension array of value that have contains in distance of the nodes, and then int index vertex awal and int index vertex akhir is some misclick too. So the index vertex awal it should be 3 because D not D is on index 3 of the array, and then L and then K I mean is index vertex is K, which is mean index 10. Okay, next. Okay, so this is what I mean from the value of the distance. As you can see, there are 5. The distance from A to B is 5. The distance from A to C is 3.8, and then the distance from A to D is 7. So that's, I mean, from the two-dimensional array in agency matrix. Next.
Okay, this conclusion, breadth first search is a traversal algorithm that starts at a given node and traverses the graph layer by layer, therefore investigating the nodes nearby, nodes which are directly connected to search node. Then you must go ahead to the next level neighbor nodes This algorithm is very helpful for human that can be implemented in GPS that once again really help humans. The GPS is used to finding the shortest route or path and to seek for the street and location whenever you're lost. With this sophisticated technology and sophisticated algorithm, it is hoped that BFS will be able to make other advance even more. Next.
Okay, so that's all from us. Thank you for listening and see you in our next presentation.